Hello everyone, welcome to e-Vivekaam. In this video, we are going to discuss about Indian agriculture theme of Yukti Prelims Test Series. In addition to learning about test questions, you guys also will be given brainstorming questions in and around that theme which came in previous year questions of UPSC. Let's start the discussion. Coming to first question, which of the following is an advantage of using biochar in farming? See, whenever you see the word bio, you should understand that it is very good for practices in agriculture. If you see the options, it increases the soil water retention capacity. It is a positive thing. And second one, reduces the need for chemical fertilizers. Again positive thing. Leads to salinization of soil over time. How can a positive thing like biochar leads to salinization of soil? It is in negative tone. And fourth one, it promotes nitrogen fixing microorganisms in the soil. Yes, it is also a positive one. So we can say 1 to 4 is the answer. Basically, when the stubble like dried grass and leaves is burned in absence of oxygen, then it leads to biochar. The other name of biochar is green charcoal. If you see the given picture here, all these raw materials, when they burnt in absence of oxygen, that is pyrolysis, it leads to biochar. This biochar supplies plant nutrients, it increases the crop yield, it acts as absorbent, improves soil properties, and it has so many positive things. Okay, I'll ask you one question here. If we burn the dry biomass in absence of oxygen, it is called as biochar. When we burn the wet biomass in absence of oxygen, what is it called? It is called hydrochar. So you should remember both biochar and hydrochar. Anyhow, we have seen that answer is B. Now we will move to second question. Second one, how can genome sequencing benefit Indian agriculture? First we will see what is the genome sequencing. Genome sequencing is understanding about the genetic makeup of the crop, like what are the defective genes in that crop, which genes are responsible for height of the crop, which genes are responsible for productivity of the crop. Like this, with the help of genome sequencing, we can understand many underlying things about that crop. If we see the options, identifying drought-resistant genes in the crops. Yes, if we decode the sequence of the genes, we can understand which genes are responsible for the drought resistance of that crop. So it is right. Enhancing crop productivity in arid regions. Yes, in arid regions, crops will have generally less productivity. If we understand which genes are responsible for that, we can replace the genes and include the productivity genes which we can see in other crops. So with the help of that, we can enhance the crop productivity in that arid regions. So this is also right option. Developing disease-resistant crop varieties. This is so much important. If we understand which genes are responsible for the particular disease, we can replace that genes and develop disease-resistant varieties. So this is also a right one. In coming to fourth option, promote organic farming practices. Genome sequencing has nothing to do with organic farming or chemical farming. If we don't use chemical fertilizers and stick to organic things, then it is called organic farming. It is not at all related to genes. So the answer is 1, 2 and 3. Next question. Which of the following are key features of climate smart agriculture? What is this climate smart agriculture? See, in news also, we are frequently listening about global warming, climate change, how crops are getting affected because of them. We have to use resources optimally, etc., etc. So, as a solution to all these problems, we came up with the new idea of climate smart agriculture. So, what is this climate smart agriculture all about? With this, we aim to address both food security challenges as well as climate change challenges. It's just that be smart with both climate and agriculture. If we see the options, promoting crop rotation and intercropping. See, this climate smart agriculture is about positive thing. That is, we have to use sustainable practices for agriculture so that climate also won't get affected, right? Promoting crop rotation in intercropping is a positive thing and it is also a sustainable thing. So climate smart agriculture resonates with this. And second one, using only organic fertilizers for farming. Yes, sustainable practices are important for climate smart agriculture, but exclusive use of organic fertilizers is not at all needed. According to the need, we use both organic fertilizer plus chemical fertilizer. Nowhere it is mentioned that we have to use only organic fertilizers in order to be sustainable. So 2 is wrong. And increasing resilience to climate vulnerability. This is all climate smart agriculture is telling about now. We have to be conscious about climate also when doing agriculture. So this is right. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture. Yes, you don't need to spoil climate for agriculture purpose. Be a little bit smart and reduce greenhouse gas emissions also. So the answer is 1, 3 and 4. Next question. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana? Basically the thing is, because of disasters like floods, droughts, farmers are suffering a lot, like crop productivity will get reduced, crop losses will be there. So to give the farmer financial support, Government of India brought this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana scheme. If you see the first statement, it aims to provide financial support to farmers suffering crop loss or damage due to natural calamities. Yes, this is the aim or objective of the scheme. So it is right one. Next one. It covers both food and horticultural crops. See, you don't need to read about all provisions of the scheme to answer this question. And we can't differentiate farmers with what crops they grow, whether it is the food crops or horticultural crops. Both are grown and harvested by farmer only. So, this statement, it covers both food and horticultural crops is right. Because once a disaster comes, it affects both food and horticultural crops equally. Both farmers will suffer losses. And coming to third one, the scheme is mandatory for farmers taking loans from institutional sources. You guys may get stuck at this point like mandatory from institutional sources etc. Just think from governance side. A farmer frequently goes to bank for the purpose of loan and there so many formal documents and processes are involved. And on the other hand, government wants to make every farmer enroll in this scheme. So, if they say it is mandatory for every farmer whoever want loan, both policy purpose will get fulfilled and simultaneously credit flow to agriculture sector also will get happen. So, in the scheme they mentioned that it was mandatory for every farmer who want loan from institutional sources. However, if you are a farmer and you don't want any loan from the bank, in that situation also you can voluntarily opt for this scheme. So the answer is 1, 2 and 3. Next question. Which of the following agricultural products is a major export of India? If you see the options, basmati rice, coffee, maize and cotton. Coming to basmati rice, we are the world's largest exporter of the rice. We export to countries like Saudi, Iran, all Middle East countries. So India being the major exporter of rice is the known thing. So 1 is right. So coming to India, we are the major exporter of Arabica and Robusta varieties of coffee. So coffee also we export. And coming to maize, yes, we produce a lot of maize, but it is largely consumed domestically because for food purpose, for feed purpose, for industrial purpose, we only use significant quantity. There is nothing much to export to other countries. And coming to cotton, since Indus Valley civilization, we know that we are the major producer and exporter of the cotton. So answer is 1, 2 and 4. Here you have to remember that though we produce a lot of maize in India, we are not that significant exporter. Okay, moving to the next question. With reference to PM Pranam scheme, consider the following statements. Actually, this scheme was launched in 2023 budget. If you guys know the full form of PM Pranam, you can easily answer this question. PM Pranam means Pradhan Mantri Program for Restoration, Awareness, Generation, Nourishment and Amelioration of Mother Earth. If you see here they want to restore and nourish the Mother Earth from all the chemicals we have used till now. If we see the options, the scheme aims to incentivize the states to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and promote sustainable agriculture practices. This statement is the objective of the PM Pranam scheme. And obviously, this is the right and general statement. Second one, it provides direct financial assistance to farmers for switching to organic farming methods. Yes, the scheme wants to promote these sustainable practices, but it is not at all providing the direct financial assistance. Actually, in first statement also we saw that it incentivizes the states. See, if you use the less chemical fertilizers compared to previous year, then center will give financial incentives. Anyhow, this incentivizing the states and direct financial assistance are in contrast. As we know that first statement is right, second is wrong. Because both direct financial assistance and incentivizing are different things. In the third one, the scheme is fully funded by central government. See, till now we have seen that the central government want to incentivize the states for promoting the organic practices. It doesn't have any thought to entirely fund the scheme. Actually, it follows the model of shared funding. That is, whatever the savings we generate from the reduced fertilizer subsidies. See, for chemical fertilizers, government is giving subsidies to farmers, no? If farmers move to organic practices, these fertilizer subsidies will get reduced. And those money, they will give us financial rewards under the scheme. That is, they want to reduce the fertilizer subsidies and give them as rewards for promoting organic practices. So the answer is 1 only. Next one. How does erratic monsoon behavior affect the Indian agriculture? What is this erratic monsoon means? See, sometimes monsoon won't come on time. Like it will come late, even if it comes, it gives uneven rainfall like this. So if the monsoon is so erratic, it obviously causes delay in sowing of crops. If rainfall comes late and the crop sowing also get delayed, so option 1 is right. Leads to drought in rain-fed regions. What is this rain-fed regions? See, these areas, they don't have proper irrigation facilities, so they only depend on the rain. If rain comes so late, it obviously leads to drought in those areas, so this is also right. Third one, increases soil salinity due to heavy rains. Actually, in the last test also, we have discussed that soil salinity is the result of over-irrigation, especially in dry and semi-arid areas. Because in these areas, evaporation is so high that all water gets evaporated, leaving the dissolved salts behind. Here they are giving that soil salinity will increase because of heavy rains. And they did mention in which areas. In some areas, water logging will happen because of excess rainfall. In some areas, leaching will happen. So we can't say that erratic monsoon behavior leads to soil salinity. So this is wrong option. Next one, enhances productivity in water-intensive crops. First of all, what is this water-intensive crops? Some crops like rice, sugarcane, they need lot of water. Like, to be specific, they need consistent and adequate water supply. If the monsoon is so erratic that it comes late, even if it comes on time, it causes uneven rainfall, it actually disrupts the productivity of such crops. It can't enhance the productivity. This is a wrong option. And we can also think like erratic monsoon is negative thing. So here answer is 1 and 2 only. Next one. Which of the following crops often linked to sustainable farming practices would be classified under agricultural diversification? specifically considering their economic viability, adaptability to climate change, and role in enhancing biodiversity. These three are the keywords. If you see the options, rice, sugarcane, millets, and pulses. So basically the question is asking that we have to adapt sustainable practices, and also we need to diverse the agriculture, and also we have to keep in mind economic viability, adaptability to climate change, and their role in enhancing biodiversity. If you see millets are so nutritious and they can be used to grow in arid and semi-arid areas. Literally, millets can be grown in any area of India. So as a part of diversification strategies, we can use the millets. So obviously 3 should come in the answer. So we can eliminate A and B. And coming to pulses. We all know that pulses help in nitrogen fixation. So we can promote pulses also as a part of diversification. So 4 should also come. And if we see rice and sugarcane, both of these are so much water intensive crops. We have also seen this in previous question. And UPSC also mentioned many times that methane gets emitted from water intensive crops like this. So in order to get adaptable to the climate change, we shouldn't grow such crops. So options 1, 2 won't come. Answer is 3 and 4. Next question. Consider the following statements about the relationship between Indian agriculture and climate. Here they are asking about Kharif crops, Rabi crops and Zaid crops. We should have idea about sowing season and harvesting season of these Kharif, Rabi and Zaid crops. If we see, these Kharif crops are sown at the onset of monsoon. As soon as the monsoon comes, then we grow these Kharif crops and they are harvested in around September or October. And coming to Rabi crops, they are sown after the monsoon, like around October to November, and are harvested in March to April. That is summer season. And Zaid crops though, we grow them in summer season only, like between Rabi to Kharif. These Zaid crops are generally horticultural crops. We eat now watermelon, cucumber in summer season. They are called Zaid crops. If we see the statements given, Kharif crops are primarily grown during the monsoon season, yes, benefiting from the high rainfall and warm climate. In monsoon, the rain comes, like southwest monsoon comes, it gives high rainfall and warm climate. So option 1 is right. Second one, Rabi crops are sown before the winter and harvested in summer. Yes, right. Requiring minimal irrigation due to heavy winter rains. Here the trap is there. Actually, Rabi crops require more irrigation. Because whatever the rainfall that winter rains give, it won't be sufficient for the Rabi crops. So the trap here is the minimal irrigation due to heavy winter rains. So this is the wrong answer. Next one. Zaid crops are grown between Rabi and Kharif, that is in summer season, and typically depend on artificial irrigation rather than rainfall. Because in summer the rainfall will be less, we have to irrigate. So option 3 is right. So answer is 1 and 3. And next one. Match the following crops with their irrigation requirement. Rice, wheat, groundnut and cotton. We have seen that rice and sugarcane are called water intensive crops. Why? Because they need lot of water. So rice goes with high water demand. 1 with A. We can eliminate B and D. And if we see wheat is a Rabi crop. Yes, Rabi crops depend on winter rainfall, but it won't be sufficient. They need supplementary irrigation also. We have seen this in last question, that Rabi crops need more irrigation in addition to the rainfall provided. So wheat goes with supplementary irrigation. 2 goes with D. So we can eliminate A also. Anyhow, we'll see the other options also. And cotton. We know that cotton grows in black soil. In last test also we have discussed about this. And black soil is also called self-ploughing soil. Why? Even if we give less water, it becomes so sticky. And in dry climate, it will get cracks. So even if we give less water, because of its rich clay content, it will grow crops like cotton and all. So cotton goes with low water demand. And finally, groundnut goes with moderate water requirement. Actually, especially during flowering season, groundnut requires water, or else it will sustain on less water only. So we can go with moderate water requirement. Answer is C. And next question. This question is focusing on different types of irrigation. Here if you see, this is called canal irrigation. This is groundwater irrigation. And these are drip irrigation. And see the first statement. Canal irrigation is predominantly used in regions with heavy rainfall and is limited in arid regions due to low availability of surface water. Here they are telling that we use canal irrigation in heavy rainfall areas and also it is limited to arid regions. The statement itself has contrast words. And anyhow, if the place has heavy rainfall, what is the need to use canal irrigation? Actually, in arid and semi-arid regions, because of low water availability, we divert the water from rivers to canals and use it for irrigation purpose. Mentioning that canal irrigation is used in heavy rainfall areas is so wrong. And second one, groundwater irrigation has led to depletion of aquifers in several regions, particularly in Green Revolution Belt. This statement is so general. If you extensively, heavily exploit the groundwater resources, obviously it results in falling of water table. Falling of water table means depletion of aquifers. So second one is right. And third one, drip irrigation is increasingly being promoted for crops like sugarcane and cotton due to its efficient water use. If you see here, this picture shows how drip irrigation works. We deliver water directly to the roots of the plants. Thereby we can reduce the wastage of water specifically for water intensive crops. And also in regions where water is scarce, this is the efficient method. So for efficient water use, we use drip irrigation and we are promoting that is the right answer. So the answer is 2 and 3. Because this canal irrigation statement is wrong. Next one. Consider the following statements about minimum support price. Basically, what happens means, after harvesting the crop, when farmer go to sell it, vendors quote very less price and exploit them. So, to save farmers from such crises, government came with the concept of MSP. Here, they will announce before the sowing season only that we will pay you say 50 rupees per kilo rice, 80 rupees per kilo wheat as such. After harvesting, if you get more price at the market, you sell there. Or else you can sell to government directly. And after considering all costs borne by the farmer, government came with this rate. This will help farmers not going into losses. If you see the statements, MSP is announced by the Government of India before the sowing season to incentivize farmers to cultivate certain crops. Yes. Actually, Government of India announces this MSP for 22 crops every year. In this 22, 14 are Kharif crops, 6 are Rabi crops and 2 are commercial crops. Okay, moving to second statement, MSP is applicable only to cereals like wheat and rice and does not cover cash crops like cotton or oilseeds. Why? Why should government limit only to cereals? We eat cereals, pulses, oilseeds, everything now. So MSP is applicable only to cereals, not cash crops is the wrong option. MSP ensures that farmers do not have to sell their crops below the price fixed by government in case of market fluctuations. Yes, that's why they told it minimum support price. This is the least price you can quote. No matter how many market fluctuations are there, you shouldn't sell the crop below this price. So option 3 is right. It is just expanding the minimum support price ka definition. So answer is 1 and 3. Next one. Consider the following practices. Which of the above are considered sustainable agricultural practices? Integrated crop livestock system, agroforestry, shifting cultivation, organic farming. Integrated crop livestock system means we are integrating crops and livestock in the same farm. This will help us in nutrient cycling, improving soil health, and we have so many benefits in this integration of crop and livestock. So it is a sustainable practice and it is a basic one. And agroforestry. What is this agroforestry? We have to integrate trees and crops in the same system. This also helps in soil fertility and climate resilience. And coming to shifting cultivation, we all know that shifting cultivation means people clear the forest, cultivate there for few years and move to new area. This is not at all good for soil health. And we also know that government is against shifting cultivation practices and is running so many programs to bring awareness on this concept. So shifting cultivation is not at all related to sustainable practices and organic farming. It is so obvious because organic farming won't use chemical fertilizers. It is sustainable practice. So answer is 1, 2 and 4. If we eliminate shifting cultivation, then we can get the answer. Next one. Which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of fertilizer use on soil health in India? Excessive use of nitrogen-based fertilizers leads to soil acidification and reduces crop productivity over time. See, whether it is nitrogen-based fertilizers or phosphorus-based fertilizers, if we use anything excessively, it obviously reduces the crop productivity. So this is right statement. And organic fertilizers such as compost and manure are more efficient in enhancing soil nutrient levels compared to chemical fertilizers. Yes, organic fertilizers are always good for soil health than the chemical fertilizers. This is also an obvious statement. So it is right. The use of phosphatic fertilizers lead to long-term soil salinity, especially in arid regions. We have already discussed so many times that soil salinity is because of over-irrigation in arid areas. Why? Because water evaporates and salts are left behind. If we use the fertilizers which are sodium-based, keep in mind, sodium-based fertilizers, they'll have lot of salt and on the top of it, we are overly irrigating these arid areas. So, sodium-based fertilizers will lead to long-term soil salinity. Phosphatic fertilizers has nothing to do with salinity concept. So option 3 is wrong. Answer is 1 and 2. Last question. Vertical farming has emerged as an innovative solution to the agricultural challenges in regions like Kashmir, where the land is scarce and climate conditions are challenging. Based on the case study of Mushkubudji rice cultivation in Kashmir, consider the following statements. Here they are focusing on vertical farming concept. See, this is the vertical farming. If we read the statements, vertical farming has the potential to increase land use efficiency by converting smaller land areas into highly productive spaces. Yes, that's what vertical farming is meant for. It uses the limited space and grow crops like this, so that if we grow the crops in vertical layers, the productivity also gets increased. So option 1 is right and it is telling about vertical farming concept. Second one, vertical farming can completely replace traditional farming methods in large-scale agriculture across all regions of India. See how extreme this statement is sounding. Depending on the crop, we can choose what to use like vertical farming or traditional farming like that. We can't tell that we can completely replace the traditional farming in all regions of India. This is so extreme and it is not practically possible also. So this is a wrong one. One of the key environmental benefits of vertical farming is the elimination of methane emissions from the rice fields. At the outset, we feel like, how can we eliminate the methane emissions just with the help of vertical farming? Actually, this vertical farming concept is based on minimal usage of natural resources. Here we use techniques like lighting, here we use techniques like LED, climate control, hydroponics, and so many things. We know that rice fields are so much water intensive. And in vertical farming, we are using precision irrigation techniques. So obviously we can eliminate the methane emissions from rice fields. This is right one. One of the key environmental benefits. We have to read this also. This is one of the benefit. And here they are not saying we can completely eliminate. They are mentioning that we can eliminate the methane emissions and it is one of the benefit of the vertical farming. So this is the right one. And coming to fourth statement. Mushkupudji, a rice variety native to Kashmir, has been revived through vertical farming techniques and is cultivated using discarded paddy husk as a soil alternative. In the question also they gave now that in Kashmir, land is scarce and climate conditions are challenging. That's why as an innovative solution, we cultivated mushkubujji rice by using vertical farming. They are mentioning the same in the fourth statement. So till here this is right. And cultivating using discarded paddy husk, if we don't know, we don't know. If we know, we know. This is the fact-based statement. This is based on your knowledge. And yes, they use a discarded paddy husk as an alternative to soil. Option 4 is right. So answer is 1, 2. So the answer is 1, 3 and 4. Here some typing mistake happened. Here answer is 1, 3 and 4. Option A. So in this discussion, we have discussed about vertical farming, its benefits, and how excessive fertilizer use impacts soil fertility, MSP, different types of irrigation, Kharif crops, Rabi crops, Zaid crops, monsoon effect on Indian agriculture, PM Pranam scheme, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, climate smart agriculture and biochar. And we have also discussed other topics surrounding these themes. And if you guys want to enhance your preparation and test yourselves with UPSC pattern of questions, do enroll in Prelims Yukti Test Series of e-Vivekaam and develop your understanding of concepts in a structured and strategic manner. Don't miss this golden opportunity, and thank you for watching.